The New York Giants and Victor Cruz are officially divorced. And it got a little embarrassing, apparently, yesterday when Victor Cruz told them, I will take a significant pay cut. I don't want to go anywhere. And they go, no, we're done. We're moving on. They said the same thing to Rashad Jennings, which I understand based on money and production or lack thereof, which paves the way for Brandon Marshall to become a New York Giant. And I firmly believe that's exactly what's going to happen. It'll be less than the $7 million or so he's set to make. But the New York Giants did something which I think still stems from the boat a little bit. And that is Victor Cruz, who had publicly complained about his lack of production and he wasn't getting the ball that much. And then he, as the veteran leader of the wide receivers, got on that boat. And I think the Giants said, man, we can't even trust you to make the right decisions off the field and be a great leader for a guy like Odell Beckham.
All right, well,
Peace out.
Odell Beckham needs to take some of the stock of it in itself. And I would think that it was Odell Beckham's brother that set this whole thing up. And being a teammate and being a part of that wide receiver room, they all decided to go together. Victor had a really, really nice career for the New York Giants, when you take away the injuries and all that other stuff.
One of the great stories in football.
It really is. And it's unfortunate that, he's being asked to, or told that they don't want him anymore. But I get all that. And all of us who play the game go through it one time or two times in our careers where it is a little bit of a smack in the face. It's humbling. He already took less money to stay with the Giants last year. But the Giants need to fix some things on offense. The one thing I will say, either Victor or Rashad Jennings, both of them, I'm sure that they want to continue their careers, but both of them can easily go right into the media if they wanted to.
Oh, for sure.
Both of them. And,
I think they want to play, though.
I know. I think they do as well. I'll never forget when we had Rashad in here for the first time. He walked out of here, and I was like, wow.
Impressive.
That guy can do whatever he wants, because he is so with it away from the field. So, he ran for 2,000 yards for the Giants. He only had 12 touchdowns. He was a good teammate. He did not create any problems. Didn't bitch and complain when he wasn't getting the ball, and they gave it to other guys.
Opposite.
He was a great teammate. But unfortunately, he was making too much money. They now have some money to spend,
right?
And they'll probably try to go and do what they did last year. They have to somewhere along the line. They have got to settle and decide on what their offensive line is going to look like.
See, I thought I was going to ask you, freeing up the money they freed up, about $10 million worth, do you think that paves the way for JPP to come back?
Well, I know that they want to make a legitimate run at him, especially with the Dallas Cowboys talking about adding a defensive presence to their defensive line. So I'm sure they're pretty worried about that. But sooner or later, you got to really start looking at this offensive line and deciding, all right, what is Eric Flowers doing?
Right.
Where is he going? So, they could go draft with the offensive line, which I'm sure they will. They could, everybody out there that needs offensive lineman is going to be, if I were an offensive lineman right now and I was a free agent, you are sitting pretty, because there are probably about 10 teams out there that need significant upgrades in their offensive line. The question is, who are those free agents available? Who's going to be released? Who's going to be what you would consider like a stopgap or a Michael Grabner type for the Rangers, a guy that you don't have to spend a lot of money, but is going to give you an all-star performance, that kind of thing.
Right.
So I wasn't surprised by any of this, what the Giants were doing yesterday.
Not me either. I didn't think about Rashad Jennings. It makes complete sense. Victor Cruz I saw coming because he was on board next year for $6.5 million. And based on how they were using him and the emergence of other guys on the team, you just can't pay Victor Cruz.
But here's what I would do.
And it shows you, though, the business end of it. Victor Cruz last year had a base salary of $2.5 million. He was willing to take less. So it's this really crazy, insecure level. I hate to use the word desperation, but almost desperation of, I want to stay here. I don't want to move anywhere. And now he's a man without a team, but he will get an offer. He will play football next year if he wants to play.